welcome to February's The Legends Club Junior Legend Takeover. I'm Vivan Alvani.
I'm Ryan Thatch.
And I'm Charles Felicia.
And joining us live is former Liverpool and Scotland midfielder Don Hutchison.
Hello, Don.
Hey, Don.
Hello, guys. Ryan, quick question. Why are the two guys next to you in fancy dress today? Is it a fancy dress competition?
I honestly don't know. I told them to bring Liverpool shirts, but no, I'll stick to my club.
Man, you forever.
So I've got a question for you. We've all got questions for you, but I'll go first. So my first question for you is, what is your most memorable or important match you've played in your career as a footballer, and why? Briefly talk about the match that you've played.
Yeah, that's a great question. And luckily for me, there's a print behind me of Scotland or England versus Scotland when I scored the winning goal at Wembley. So all the famous England players are on there. David Beckham's there, Sol Campbell, Tony Adams, Alan Shearer, Michael. Yes!
Okay, now I also have a question. This probably has already been answered, but I'll just say it anyway. Which of your 50 goals was the most special for you? And tell us why.
Ooh, I mean, I don't think I'll ever forget my home debut for Liverpool against Sheffield Wednesday when I scored in the Cop End and we won 1-0. That holds big memories for me, you know, playing for the club the size of Liverpool and scoring a winning goal in the Premier League. That was pretty amazing. But this fixture, when Scotland play England and when England plays Scotland, it's a gigantic fixture. And I was lucky enough to score the winning goal just behind me, a header at the far post. So I think I would probably say just this one, but if we're talking Premier League, then definitely my home debut, my home goal, or my first goal for Liverpool at the Cop End.
All right, so my first question is, why did you force a move to Everton after the playoff final defeat with Nottingham Forest?
Is that you, Charles?
Yes,
Charles,
that's
isn't
me.
it? Yeah, I've got a feeling Charles is the troublemaker amongst the three.
Yes,
He's
he
already
is.
said Don sounds like a girl's name off air.
I didn't say. He said that. He said that. He said that.
Okay.
You little fibber. You fibber. I didn't force a move through. My manager, who was at Sheffield United, called Howard Kendall, he left Sheffield United to go to Everton, and then he brought me to go to Everton. So he brought me with him. So Sheffield United was a great time for me, but going back to the Premier League, having played for Liverpool, to then get the chance to play for Everton, their rivals, was too big an opportunity to turn down.
So I understand you're a midfielder in your football career. I started off as a striker, and now I'm currently playing centre mid. So I don't know which position did you start off as, and then eventually which position, how do you evolve to become a midfielder? So do you move on to the left, or do you play in the right, or do you play up front? Or you could have been a keeper, So which position did you start off at first?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're young, I just think you just try every single position. I played centre forward and scored, 40, 50 goals a season when I was young, when I was sort of 13, 14, 15. Then, you might play right back, you might play centre half. So I was always the type of player that always played through the middle. So I could be a centre half, I could be a central midfield player, or a sort of number 10 centre forward. So anywhere through the middle, that's where I felt comfortable. So when I was playing for Hartlepool, my first club, I was a goal scorer midfield player. So I'd get goals and I'd get chances. And Alan Hansen, the great Alan Hansen, was retiring from Liverpool. And Liverpool identified me as dropping back a position and try and play like Alan Hansen. I wouldn't say I'm as good as him, but to try and play that way because I was a footballing sort of midfield player. So once I went to Liverpool, they fancied me as being a centre half. Now, once I got there, I think they realised pretty quickly that I wasn't a centre half and I was a number 8. So then I spent the whole of my time playing as a number 8. But I've been to teams like Sunderland, who played me on the right wing. I went to West Ham, who played me as a central midfield player. Then I played for other clubs. Everton, who thought I was a number 10. So I think it's good that when you're sort of your age, in your teens, I think just play as many positions as you can and just find out which one's the best for you.
Okay, I have another question for you. Which current player would you like to have on your team right now? And which player would you absolutely dread to face?
Ooh, in the Premier League, or are we talking world football?
World football.
Ooh, the player I think I'd love to have on my side is Ronaldo, because I just think he turns up in the very biggest of games, and whenever you need a goal, in the biggest of games, Ronaldo always delivers. You see his goal scoring charts this week when he scored last night. He's gone past Pele, he's gone past all the greats that haven't scored the most goals. So, I can remember commentating on a Juventus Atletico Madrid game, and Atletico Madrid were leading 2-0. I think it was about the quarterfinal stages of the Champions League. And the commentator asked me, is there any way back for Juventus? And in your heart of hearts, you're thinking, no, there's no way back, because Atletico Madrid were winning 2-0, who don't ship any goals whatsoever. But I was lucky enough to say there's always a way back when Ronaldo is on the pitch, because he scores big goals. Luckily for me, he scored 3 on the night, and they beat Atletico Madrid 3-2 and Juventus won. So he would be the one you'd have in your side every single time. And the one you wouldn't really want to face, I think probably the best centre forwards in the world. I think when you look at the real number 9s, I think probably Lewandowski comes to mind, where he's just consistently hitting close to 40 to 50 goals every single season. That guy is standalone prolific, I think. I think he's the best number 9 out there.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go back to your Everton days for this one. So what emotions did you feel when you barely survived relegation in 97-98 in that game against Coventry?
Oh, Charles, you are on me today. I can see it. You're on me today with the difficult questions. It was horrible, Charles. Honestly, it was horrible. Can you imagine the size of Everton staying up on goal difference? Not even by a point. We stayed up on goal difference on the last day of the season. And all the Evertonians inside the stadium, that's why we miss them greatly these days for what they bring. And football's a strange world with no fans in the stadium. But that day when all the Evertonians were on the pitch crying and hugging and taking jerseys off the players, and just thankful that we'd just done enough to keep Everton in the Premier League, because it would have been a disaster if Everton had went down. So I don't mind saying after the game, when we got into the dressing room, there was a lot of players in a lot of tears.
Right, Don. So instead of us asking the question right now, I'd like you to ask the question for us, and we'll answer them. So do you have any questions for us?
Okay, cool. I'll ask you a question, being a Red. Is there any way back for Liverpool, and can they survive this blip and go and retain their title?
Yeah, I really think so, because I'm a Liverpool fan, so obviously I'm rooting for them to win the Premier League. There is a very good chance that we will win the Premier League, but other teams are starting to play very well. We've got Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, currently playing very well too. Arsenal slowly getting back on their feet, so it is going to be an interesting one to watch. But I really do feel that Liverpool still have a good chance to win the Premier League. We've got some injured players back. Still missing Van Dijk though, but still not to worry. We've got Thiago, who's came back, played exceptionally well. I really feel that Liverpool do have a great chance to play and win the Premier League, maybe even the Champions League as well.
Yeah, and for the two Man United fans, you must be loving life at the moment, sitting top of the league. Can you stay there?
Yes.
And who do you think's your biggest contenders? Man City and Liverpool?
Probably Leicester.
Ooh, Leicester.
Leicester are really close on points, barely off. Manchester United barely beating them in the top of the league. And me and Charles, Mr. Felicia, are both hoping that Manchester United can maintain their position and that Liverpool get relegated, because we both don't like Liverpool.
Wow, well, I'm going to ask you a difficult question then,
What a
and you
shocker.
have to answer this question. If someone was going to beat Man United to the title, who would you rather it be, Liverpool or Man City?
Oh, okay.
He's going to throw
I'll
under the
answer
bus
this.
now
Man
like
City.
you
I'll
did
answer
to him.
this one.
Man
So-
City. It would be more honourable. It would be more honourable. They're higher in the league. It would be more honourable.
To be honest, in my humble opinion, I just don't want Liverpool retaining another title. but I don't want either of them to win the league. But if we have an outside chance, I'd hope maybe Sheffield United. To be honest,
What?
Okay, Sheffield United.
kind of want Sheffield to win the league right
Interesting.
The question was Liverpool or Man City.
now. I know, but I branched off from that.
What? Okay, anyway, I
Ryan,
would.
how do you cope? Ryan, with these two? They want you relegated.
I know.
Honestly,
I don't want
we just have to let the football do the talking, so really hope that Liverpool will win the Premier League, so these two can keep quiet, So
I just hope Liverpool just get
Thank
into
you.
a relegation battle. I don't want them to get relegated, even though that would be really funny.
Oh,
If,
no.
if Liverpool get
no.
relegated, but
If Liverpool and
Oh,
Everton
no.
and West Ham.
I mean, what if like they did like an Arsenal next year, like
Oh my
Arsenal
God.
towards
What
the
do you
start of
mean
the
by
season.
Arsenal? What do you
Oh
mean
my
by that?
God.
So like 15th by like halfway through the
Oh,
season.
no.
Oh, by the way, Don, me and Charles both cherished every single moment of that 7-2 loss to Aston Villa.
I myself am lost for words, Like,
Guys are useless.
what is going on?
We loved every single moment of that.
I bet you did. I bet you didn't love the 6-1 against Tottenham, though.
Oh, it was on the same week though, so it's fine.
no.
It's fine. Same week.
Okay,
Same week.
that's karma. That's karma. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway, that's all we have time for. Thank you to our sponsors at Match Tax, and thank you to Don.
Right, see
Bye,
you,
Don.
Bye. It's great.